Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
And you find another woman's lipstick in the car, and you tell him what?
I think you forgot something in here.
Right.
And he got upset. He must have really forgot and got caught up. And that's when he started being belligerent. And if you will see in the text messages, he was he's a very disrespectful person.
This is the plaintiff, Zilroy Edwards. He says the defendant is his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his 5-month-old child. And the woman owes him money for a BMW he purchased and put into her name. One day she borrowed the car and now she refuses to return it to him because she sold it. This is outrageous behavior on her part. He won't stand for it. And he's suing the mother of his child for the $4,150 she owes. This is the defendant, Lenasia Cyprus. She says she put down $1,500 on this car she and the plaintiff purchased together to share. Now that they've split up, the guy's vowed to do everything in his power to ruin her life. This bogus lawsuit's just one example. And she's not paying a penny because she doesn't owe him a thing. She's accused of dissing her ex. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,500 for late fees the plaintiff encountered that she's now on the hook for.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Edwards, you are suing your former girlfriend and mother of your daughter, Ms. Cyprus, for $4,150 that you say she owes you. She's counterclaiming against you car tolls in the amount of $1,500. Let me hear from you first, Mr. Edwards. What happened here?
Yes, on June 27th, me and Ms. Cyprus went to a dealer so that we could purchase a vehicle. She's going to put her name on the loan for me because I couldn't get the loan in my name because at the time I was on unemployment and the bank would not accept the unemployment as proof of income.
So you bought a BMW while you were unemployed?
Yeah, I was looking for a job at the same time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I was looking for a bigger vehicle because I'm about to have a next child. So I ended up and sold my car.
How many children do you have?
2.
Okay. So how many children do you have with her? The 5-month-old daughter, right? Okay.
Yes.
So whose car was this supposed to be? Yours or hers or both of yours or what?
Mine. It's supposed to be mine. That's why I say, like you throw in my text, the car is mine. I paid all the money for it.
You mean the down payment?
The down payment, yes, and the first month payment as I was making the payments because the car was supposed to be in her name because I couldn't get it in my name. So she agreed to put it in her name for me. Okay.
So wait, were you guys together or apart at this time?
We was apart at that time.
When did you guys break up?
It was like an off and on thing. It was like an off and on for a while.
At the time when you bought the BMW when you were unemployed and you used BMW when you were unemployed and you had her put it in her name, were you guys together or not together?
I said we're not even together at that time neither. I wouldn't even say we were together at that time.
Okay, so were you living together?
No, we never lived together.
You never lived together. All right.
No.
Okay, so here's where we are. The loan is in her name. The car is in her name. So the title's in her name. But you say she knows it's your car, and then what happens?
Yes, and then how she obtained the vehicle is she asked me to use it to go get some stuff at BJ's for our daughter.
Okay.
I usually when she asks me to use it, I usually give it to her if I'm not using it at the time.
Right, but how do you give it to her? Do you park the car at where she lives all the time?
No, the car sleep by where I live, by with me.
Is it close to her?
No.
Okay, go on.
It's like probably like a 10 minutes drive.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so the car sleep with me. So if she need it, I will either go pick her up, give it to her, or she'll meet me at my house, leave her car and take the truck. I will give her the key and she take it.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so how she got the vehicle now, she told me that she needed the truck to go get some stuff for my daughter. So the morning I dropped it for her, and then as I'm on my way to work, that's when she called me and told me like if I wanted the truck back, then I had to fix everything that was wrong with her car if I wanted to keep the truck.
Because you guys switched cars, right?
Yeah, we switched cars at the time.
And so you had her car, which is a what?
A Volvo, I think it was a 2002 Volvo.
Okay, so she said if you want to see your car, again, you got to pay the ransom, and the ransom is you need to take my car in and get it fixed.
Right, I need to, well, I'm the one that usually work on her car, depends on what's wrong with it.
Okay, are you a mechanic?
I fix cars too also. I initially went to school for fixing mechanics, so I work on my own vehicle.
Okay, so had she been asking you to fix her car?
Yeah, previously, yes.
Okay.
But it's not my responsibility for her to fix her wear and tear on her vehicle because she's the one that's driving it.
Well, you can't fix wear and tear. What do you mean? You mean it's not your job to repair something that's broken on her car?
Right. She using her vehicle, so she calls wear and tear every time you use the vehicle is wear and tear.
Yeah,
so that's why I say wear and tear every time she uses the vehicle. And I mean, but yeah, basically when she knew her car need fixing, you can't look to me to be fixing your car every time.
Okay.
Which I had helped her out in the past fixing her car.
Okay. So she tells you, I'm not giving you your car back unless you fix my car. And what do you say?
Yeah, I told her I'm not fixing her car.
Yeah. And so you're suing her because you put a $3,500 down payment and you want to be recompensed for that because you had the car only 1 month. You paid August, but of course you drove August. And then you put tints on it. So you want to be reimbursed for that. All right, let me hear.
There's a lot more stuff inside there, the truck that I didn't even put on because I started to hook the vehicle up.
I see where she sends you a text saying something about she found something in the car. What did she find in the car?
She found a lip gloss from a female.
His new baby mother.
Excuse me?
He's having a new baby, his new baby mother. He's having another daughter within the next few months. So my daughter is 5 months. During that time that we work on and off, and we were actually supposed to be together at that time that I got the truck, because why would I just do it for you randomly if we're not supposed to be working on us? So, yeah, I get in the truck. I'm like, oh, I think you forgot something. What did I forget? I started naming it, but I was calm. I actually really was calm. I didn't forget anything. It's going to stay in there, this, that, and third, all this other stuff. I'm coming back right now. I just called out of work. How you call out of work when we were on the phone and we're discussing what's going on?
Okay, so were you dating him at that time?
Yes, we were. And
well,
yes,
this is a month after getting the car. You guys hadn't broken up?
No,
And you find another woman's lipstick in the car, and you tell him what?
I think you forgot something in here.
Right.
And he got upset. He must have really forgot and got caught up. And that's when he started being belligerent. And if you will see in the text messages, he was he's a very disrespectful person. So yeah, we were on and off because I won't tolerate that. At all.
So he says, I've clocked out, I'm going to pick up my truck. And what do you tell him?
He never even got to work.
Okay. And so
he never got to work.
Does he come to pick up his SUV?
No, because I was already leaving out. When I called him, I was already leaving out. I already had the kids in the car on my way to BJ's. So as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh, I think you forgot something. Oh, I didn't forget nothing. Started yelling, cussing and screaming. Oh, I'm calling out of work. I'm like, well, you're still going to have to wait because I'm going to finish doing what I got to do. You have a car already, so handle your business. Go stack your bread. Go get your money. Do whatever you got to do, and I'm going to go handle mine.
Actually, is that what you said? Let's look at the text. Let's look at the text, shall we?
But the text messages, it goes off a phone conversation, so you could tell between the text messages and the phone conversation.
Hold on. Everybody stop talking but Judge Milian. In July, you're saying, don't forget the info you need for the transfer with your truck, that yacht truck. That's his truck. You're acknowledging it's his truck. Let me know when you're home so I can come get my stuff. I
did say your truck due to the fact that, okay, you saying it's yours. I'm acknowledging that's what you're saying, but it's really not. It's supposed to be our truck because at the end of the day, it was supposed to be for our family, but instead you want to make a whole nother family in this truck.
You did not put $1,500
Mr. Edwards, there's no question pending. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. So July 31st, since you're working all day, can I use your truck? Yes. Not Can I use our truck? Can I use your truck? Yes, outside. I'm already outside
Because that
in the
was
car.
his whole claim. The whole time it just kept saying mine's. I'm like, all right, like, okay, if it's yours, then whatever. But my whole thing
Well,
is,
are you?
like,
I have a question. Did you make any car payments until this time?
me up
Yeah.
until that time?
Yeah.
No, it was only one payment. The first payment we got,
Right.
in,
Did you put any money
July.
down on the car?
I put $1,500. I helped him out. At that time, I was working, stacking money because he was not working, and I had to make sure we had stuff to get for our kids.
Okay,
He didn't
now
buy nothing for our
slow
kids,
down,
so
slow
yeah,
down. I'm going to need you to prove that you put $1,500 towards the car.
Well, how I did it was I was saving money. I was working at that time, so I would put money to the side. My mom and them gave me money. Like, people was just like helping me out because he was being whoever he wanted to be at that time. So I don't have actual proof. The same way we put cash down, that's what happened.
Do you have any texts that might show that you gave $1,500?
My phone, he knew I got locked out of my phone. So I don't have my text messages. I don't have none of that. So no,
Mr.
I don't
Edwards,
have the
did she
proof.
put
Me and him-
$1,500 towards the car?
No, she didn't.
Of course he's going to say no.
Right, but of course you're going to say you did. So the one way a
yeah, so
judge,
you're saying,
you
yeah.
have the burden of proving that you put $1,500 on the car. You have that burden because you're using that as a defense. Hey, I shouldn't have to pay money because I also put money. So then you have the burden of proving it. That means you've got to show me a paper trail of some kind, and you have nothing.
Okay.
And then you're like, of course he's going to say that, but of course maybe you're saying it. He asked, is she still up? No. I'm trying to wake her up. She's playing peekaboo. So early? How old was she in September 1?
September, she was like 3 weeks. I mean, like 2 weeks or so.
Come on, they don't play peekaboo. We think they play peekaboo at 3 weeks, but they don't really play peekaboo at 3 weeks.
No, because what the baby used to do, like, and what babies do, like, she will go to sleep or she'll peek, and it was like she was up, but she wasn't
I know,
up. Type
I know.
thing. So
and then you say,
like,
I spoke with someone to bring the truck back. Back to him?
No, I spoke with someone where the truck was purchased.
Oh, the dealership.
And
to bring the truck back. And he says, I did also. So did you bring the truck back?
No, I didn't bring the truck back because when I talked to the guy, he told me that I have to call Westlake Financial because that's who the loan is through. Westlake Financial told me if I bring the car back, it'll be self-repo. On top of the loan, it'll be almost a $5,000 interest rate that I would still have to pay for bringing the truck back.
Guys, there's a consequence to putting a car in someone else's name. You shouldn't buy a car together or have a baby together if you're not together, because look at how all this ended up. You're still angry, you still like them, then he starts a new family. They're going to be not even a year apart, these siblings. It's upsetting to you, it hurts you. Of course it hurts you. Of course it hurts you. Who wouldn't this hurt, you know?
Yeah, it's bothersome, but the thing about it is, like, throughout the time, like, Mr. Edwards was not being honest. And that's why I was like, okay, I believe that we are working on it, because the whole time he wasn't being honest. When I found out about this next person was when I found out about when I seen the lip gloss in the truck. Other than that, it was, we good, we working on it, everything is fine, like, don't worry about nothing, like, still staying at the house. He stopped staying, the house that we had both of our names on, he stopped staying there, like, maybe the week before I had the baby.
Really?
And yeah,
where'd you go?
A week before I started.
Where'd you go, Mr. Edwards? A week before she had the baby.
I have my own place. I was never staying there. That's the whole point. What she's saying, she's lying right there. I got my own place. That's where I'm at now. I always have my own place. And how me and her name end up on that, I helped her out so she could obtain the apartment because she was not making enough to get the apartment. You forgot?
Around the time where you would see that he said he good, he called DCF, he called the lady and all this other stuff. So that's why
Did you call DCF on her, Mr. Edwards?
He sure did.
I didn't call DCF on her. She had a DCF case lady going on with the case because she have a lot of emotional things going on with her.
Wait,
so
a DCF case with what baby? This baby?
Yes.
This baby's 5 months old. What time would she have had to have a DCF case?
Because she was drinking through her whole pregnancy and smoking through her whole pregnancy.
Who filed the DCF case against her?
The hospital did.
Yeah, can I tell you how it happened? Okay, yes, me and him was going through stuff. So yes, I was drinking or whatever. But the day before all of this happened.
Don't talk, Mr. Edwards. Go ahead.
The day before all of this happened between me and Mr. Edwards, my investigation was over. Like, they was canceling it. He got upset. He told me I was the one being emotional about the truck, this, that, and third. He didn't want to take the truck back. He said he was calling DCF. So the lady ended up coming back to me and telling me that, yes, he called her, and now I got to go through another petition, which I'm now off because he called her and told her that I was unstable, that he felt like I was going to hurt my child because I was over emotional, and that he was going to take custody of the baby.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I ended up just keeping the truck, and I had to sell the Volvo.
So you got the Volvo back and the truck?
Well, yeah, I had to go back to get the Volvo because he didn't want to take the truck back when he had the opportunity to.
When did he have an opportunity to take the truck back?
That same day. You will see the text messages coming from the conversation that we had on the phone of him saying that when I told you, when he said he was calling DC, he already called
I don't see a text message that says he's calling DCF.
He said, I talked to the lady already.
Show me where that text is. You don't know.
Oh, yeah, he did say that it is. Like, he did say that he called the lady. I mean, if you want to call, however you want to do it, I still have the lady number, but yes.
No, here's what I want to, really what I've got. Oh, let's talk about your countersuit, which we haven't talked about yet. In your countersuit, you say that he owes you $1,500 in car tolls from July 4th through August 29th. Do we all agree that on August 29th is the day that she got the car? Everybody agrees on that, right, Mr. Edwards?
No, she got it on September 2nd.
Oh, so even later. Okay, fine. So there are a series of car tolls between July 4th and August 29th that result, apparently, according to you, in $1,500 in late fees, et cetera. Ms. Cyprus?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have evidence of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Here goes $44. And here goes $164. Then I got the $1,432 and a $199.
Right, but here's the thing. That $1,432.21 says this is the sum of the balances from 13 accounts. What does that mean? How do I know it's on this car?
It's the BMW X1 because it will say bridges and tolls. Let me get that paper out for you. And this is the tag that shows the license plate and everything, yeah.
Yes, indeedy. Okay. So this shows, July,
Page
July, August, violation fee $1,300, total $1,432.21. All right. So apparently when you're going through bridges and tunnels, you're just going through them. You're not paying anything. And they amount up to $1,400 and something dollars. And the tickets are on the days that you have the car. Okay?
Yes,
so why wouldn't you owe that?
Well, the day that we see enough of them days is when we go to New York to get stuff for her house, to put in her house.
Yeah, you know what's good for the goose is good for the gander. When I tell her you need proof of what you're talking about, I'm going to be saying that to you too. All right, so now let's go backwards and figure out, I need to see the paperwork from the sale of the car to see how much money was put down. Do you remember that it was $3,500, Ms. Cyprus?
Yes, and then it was also, they had to do the registration and stuff. I'm sorry. I was supposed to be completely prepared.
It's all right. It's all right. You just had a baby. All right. So $3,500 was the down payment. Everybody agrees. He's suing for that. Yeah. He's suing for $350, which he doesn't get because he was using the car then. He's suing for $300 for window tints. What's your response to that, Ms. Cyprus?
They shouldn't have been up there.
Okay, but
for one, they're illegal, and I asked him, "Why are you putting it up there?" Oh, so I don't have to, so nobody could see who's in the car. What you hiding from?
Maybe you should have gotten to know him a little bit better before you brought a baby into the world with him, right?
I should have.
I should have. Take them off yet.
I mean, I'm sure you have no regrets, and you love your daughter, and she's a blessing, and everything else.
Oh yeah, she's perfect. Yeah, it's the dad.
Right. Well, you know what? You're stuck with him for the next 18 years. You know that, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right. Right.
I mean, but he did default his rights at one point in time.
He did what?
Defaulted his rights. Not showing up to the petition that he had DCF put out for me. He didn't show up to that court date.
That doesn't mean he's given up his rights to the baby. I mean, from what I'm seeing, he loves the baby. And, you know. Listen, I need you to listen just to what I'm telling you right now, woman to woman. Forget him, forget the money.
I'm listening.
Mother to mother, I need you to listen. There are two ways to go through this life, given the decisions you've already made. One way, just listen, don't talk, just listen to me. One way is to be bitter, to be angry, and to have a constant war. What's your daughter's name?
Zael.
Zael's father. The other way is to find some level of peaceful relationship so that you can effectively co-parent so your daughter doesn't suffer. You have one concern now, and it's not him. It's not who he created a new family with. It's not the new baby's mother. It's absolutely nothing. He's out of your life, but he's not out of Zael's life, okay? And if you want...
And I'm the one who filed for joint custody.
Just listen. Right, good. Okay, but,
I did that. I'm not bitter.
Good.
I'm not arguing and bringing nobody to court.
No, but you got to let go of the anger. We're going to handle all this stuff right now, but you've got to let go of the anger because it's going to affect one person much more than you or him. And that's
Miss,
the baby.
ask him. I'm the one who sends him pictures. I'm the one who tries to FaceTime him so he can see the child.
No, she don't. No, she don't. She don't send me nothing.
Okay.
So stop.
Well, all the more reason. First of all, don't say no, she don't, because I'm looking at the text where she sends you pictures of the baby. I don't know what you're saying.
That's when she feel like I text her every day about the child. I text her,
and I do see that too. So perhaps the better plan. No, whoa. Perhaps a better plan is that in fact you guys should go to family court and figure out something that a family court judge sets out about child support and visitation and everything else, and then everybody pay a lot of respect to whatever court order. You guys are not a couple that can work it out amongst yourselves. So don't let the court say, oh, to be determined later. That is a recipe for disaster. Make sure that nobody talk. There's no reason to talk. I'm talking. Make sure that when you go to family court, the judge sets out every word of what you guys have to do so that everything is spelled out and there's no guessing game, because you should be in contact as little as possible. Maybe one day it won't be like that. Maybe one day you guys will be friends, but there's a lot that's still ahead of you for that baby. There's going to be so much that is ahead of you, and it is so important to her that she have both a mother and a father in the picture. Even if they're separate, it doesn't matter. Just that she have both a father figure and a mother figure to be able to rely on. The more people that love and care for that baby, the happier that baby is. So he may be a miserable mate, but he may end up being a terrific father. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, because she's just 5 months old. And you better hope for her sake that he does. That he mans up and does what he needs to do and becomes a terrific father. I don't want to hear any more complaints. I am just telling you, for the baby's sake, everybody try to move forward from here. $3,500 down payment we know of. The August car payment you're suing for, no, you had the car in August. The $300 window tint, unless there's some benefit to her, well, I guess if she keeps the car and you didn't want her to, I guess you should be able to sue for that. I agree with you on that. That is $3,800. Then there's a $1,432.21 in tolls that you owe her, which I am ruling in her favor in that amount. Is she there? Is the baby there?
Yeah, I don't have I'm a single mom.
I know. I'm very happy. Can I see her?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh, look at her.
Say hello.
Look at her, how cute. All right. That leaves $2,367.79. I am entering a judgment in that amount for the plaintiff, and the car stays with you. That's my judgment that handles each of your cases, and I wish you folks a lot of luck raising that beautiful baby. Good luck.
Ooh, child.
Well, a lot of issues in this case, but the plaintiff has prevailed, gets $2,300 from the defendant. He loses $1,400 in tolls. You got to pay your tolls, Mr. Edwards. Anyway, let's listen to Miss Cyprus, see what she has to say about this. You heard the judge's verdict. What do you think, ma'am?
I'm just happy it's over with. That's it. I'm thankful, and I'm just happy that it's over with.
She gave you a lot of advice.
She did,
I think you should take that to heart. You listen to her? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, if you do that, that's good. And you keep the car, and you got to give him that money. So I hope you can work it out, okay? She thinks you should go together and, get some help between the two of you.
Been trying.
The baby has a father in the picture. No question about that. Mr. Edwards, you heard the judge. She gave you advice, too. What are you thinking?
Well, as far as her saying she gave me $1,500, that's a lie right there. So she already low right there in front of the judge. She put her hand up and swear, and that's a lie right there. So what else is she lying about? And as for my daughter, we got a court case coming up next month. I'm going to let the judge deal with everything that the judge is supposed to do.
Well, that's exactly what should happen. Exactly. All right. Well, listen, good luck to you. The judge heard you. I hope you can take her advice to heart and work it out and, play the role of a father in that child's life.
I'm great. I'm always a father. I'm a father every day. I don't stop being a father.
All right. Well, good for you. You do that. All right, Harvey. What do you think?
So, Doug, look, the judge said the defendant illegally sold the vehicle. Here's the deal. The reason you can't do that, when you think about it, you cannot sell that which you do not own. You need to claim ownership or have some authority to sell in order to actually pass title. If you don't have that, it's just not a deal, and you're not allowed to do it.
What would have been a deal breaker for you in relationships?
Smoker.
You just can't abide that.
I can't. I dated one smoker a couple of times, and I just said I can't. It's like, it's such an assault on my senses. I couldn't. Like,
yeah, you know, that's something that, you know, that odor does linger, and it ends up on your bed sheets, your pillow. So you have to become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
If you're not a smoker
my father was a smoker for years, and he had severe COPD, and but this was before that developed, and he had stopped smoking for years before that. So by the time I was dating, you know, I was dating, and in my 20s, I couldn't stand the smell.
Your mom didn't smoke?
No.
Both of my parents smoked when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But you know, by the time I was entering like elementary school, they'd both quit.
Right.
So I don't really remember smelling it around the house.
Right. I mean, there are worse things. Like if they were a murderer, that would be a deal breaker. I mean, obviously, this is just like the one. This was like the one thing where if someone said, "I'd like to set you up with this guy,"
right?
He's a smoker. I would say no.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a hard one to get past.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that I don't know that I could abide is someone who's a habitual gambler.
Gambler?
Yes. Because
of all things, gambler is what you.
Because I've known people who have just gambled away fortunes, a lot of money, and it's just. You know, I don't do it myself, but
I suppose there's bigger things on the list like drug addict and but murderer. But you know, these are like things that are more likely to be there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is the plaintiff, Gary. He says he paid the defendant to install a new skylight in his roof, and the crook took his money and ran off with it. This guy can't be allowed to get away with an out-and-out theft, and he needs to pay him back. He now needs roof work to keep the squirrels out because the defendant left a gaping hole in his house. He's suing for $1,895, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant. He says the skylight company went out of business and took the plaintiff's money with them. As far as leaving a hole in a house so squirrels can get in, preposterous. He seals everything up tight as a button and says this guy has no case and no shot of winning today in this court. He's accused of going poof in the night.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant is a crook who took his money when he was supposed to install a skylight. But the defendant says that he purchased the skylight from a window company that went out of business, and they took the plaintiff's money with them. It's the case of Poof into the night.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Gary, you're suing Mr. Denino for $1,895 that you say you are out $900 of it a deposit for a skylight he never installed, and the rest of it for exterminator fees because, according to you, he left it open. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, in late April, I hired Mr. Denino to repair my roof because I had roof leaks. He said he repaired the roof. On May 4th, I reached out to him. I said, the roof is still leaking. On May 12th, I reached out to him again, said the roof is still leaking. He finally came back on May 13th. He said that the roof looks good, the repairs look good, but I need a new skylight. He then asked me for a deposit of $900 for the skylight, which I gave him. I wrote him a check.
Was the check written to him or to a different company?
To him.
To him, okay.
Yes. I provided the copy of the check to you guys.
Okay.
Then I didn't hear from him. I made multiple calls. And then on July 20th, I texted him. I said, are you planning on installing the skylight? He said that he ordered the skylight, but the skylight came damaged. So he has to reorder the skylight and said he'd be back in 2 weeks to reinstall the skylight. Time went on. I made calls. I texted him. No response. In the meantime, I was getting squirrels in the ceiling of the office. It's an office, a one-floor office building. And my brother hired a exterminator who put in traps throughout the office. Couldn't catch the squirrels. Finally, in January, I hired another exterminating company who came and said that there are 2 large holes in the roof. And he put in a door that allowed the squirrels to go out but not come back in.
Right,
So
that's a little more humane.
Out.
Did he take pictures of the holes in the roof?
No, he didn't. He didn't. But he sealed up the holes. And since he sealed up the holes, I've had no leaks. I never replaced the skylight, and I have had no other leaks, since then.
Do you have that person here to testify where the holes were?
No, but I had the exterminating company write something up to explain exactly what they found in the roof.
Okay.
And I provided that to the court.
Squirrel entrance holes at top roof level. This is in January of 2022.
Correct.
Sealed one hole with a wire mesh and applied a one-way squirrel door to the other hole. How are you linking that to Mr. Denino's work, though, or fault? In other words, you're asking for him to pay the exterminator fee of $995 because, according to you, he left holes up there. But the holes are discovered in January, and the last time he was there was the prior May.
No, originally the squirrels, about 2 weeks after he repaired the roof, I started hearing the pitter-patter of animals in the ceiling.
Okay, you have no pictures of the holes. The best thing you have is this letter, and this letter says, I found holes in January. Do you have anybody finding holes in May, the prior May?
No, I just had the squirrels.
Right, but so according to you, you lived with the squirrels for 7 months.
There was COVID, so the office was closed for a number of months.
There was COVID a year before the squirrels. A year and 2 months before the squirrels is when COVID hit. You're telling me you had squirrel problems in May of 2021. I realize there's still COVID, but there's still squirrels, and there's still exterminators, and they're still working. COVID isn't an excuse for everything. Now, let me hear from you, Mr. Denino. Did you leave any holes in the man's roof?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you take pictures after you finish a job?
I do.
Do you have pictures of his roof?
I'm gonna check. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I know you're being sued on national television. I thought you might have checked before now, but go ahead and check.
Okay, give me 1 second, please. Sorry, 1 second. Here it comes. I do not.
Okay.
I have. No.
All right, so let's move on to the skylight issue. According to him, he paid you a deposit for the skylight. What happened with that?
Okay, so he gave me a $900 deposit for the skylight. I ordered the skylight. I gave them a $500 deposit, and when the skylight came in, I was going to pay them the balance of $400. Skylight came in. I inspected it. It had a crack in the glass. He was going to order me a new one. Time went on. I was called to Gary's place to remove some birds. There were dead birds under his awning. I removed some dead birds. I put some metal flashing so the birds can't get in anymore. I cleaned up the mess. Did go back on the roof, cleaned out the gutters. Still waiting for the skylight to come in. I felt Gary owed me a couple of dollars, so I assumed that I was able to take the $400 off the top, and that was my money.
How do you figure?
Well, I did some work for Gary.
Well,
and,
did he? But I don't understand. That $900 was for a skylight. So did he ever agree to whatever other work you did? Did he agree for you to use that $400 that you weren't out? Oh, okay. So that you took that upon yourself to say, all right. So, but what happened with the skylight is what I'm asking.
So the skylight came in. I never went and picked up the skylight. When I did go back by the place, because I kept calling them, they were out of business. So I was out the $500 that I left for a deposit. And honestly, I was kind of embarrassed to even go to Gary and tell him what had happened to me.
So what you did was ignore him?
Yes, I did.
Because that should be infinitely more embarrassing for you.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So basically, you took his $900 for a deposit on a skylight. The company goes bankrupt. You're only out $5, not $9, but you don't even return the $4 because you think you deserve it, and you return nothing, and he has to sue you for that. How do you figure? The company goes bankrupt. It's the company that you picked. You gave him a quote that included materials. You picked the company. He writes the check to you. How do you figure that becomes a Gary problem as opposed to a Mr. Denino problem? That's a Mr. Denino problem, not a Gary problem. I'm ordering you to return the $900 that he gave you, plus prejudgment statutory interest since the time he gave it to you. As far as the exterminator issue is concerned, I've had families of animals living in my roof in a home I own in North Carolina. It is very depressing. The little pitter-patter of feet is not a happy sound. I know I've even had flying squirrels in there at one point, and raccoons at another point. I know it's maddening, and I know that it can happen through many different methods. You have absolutely no evidence to tie it into holes he left up there. You don't. So I'm not going to order him to pay for your exterminator, but you absolutely get your money back on the skylight. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff unquestionably prevails in this lawsuit. The defendant had no defense. Mr. Denino, what do you think about what the judge just had to say to you?
I got to rethink things when I do things. That's all I got to say.
This did not look too good for you at all. Yeah, I think you do have to rethink things a lot. What a shame. Gary, it's a shame you had to file a lawsuit. What do you think about what the judge just ruled here?
Well, I think the squirrel problem was the defendant's fault because once those holes were sealed up, the roof leak was fixed. So obviously that was the cause of the original leak problem. But I'm happy at least I got my $900 back, and I hope other people in my neighborhood see this case so they know not to deal with him.
Yeah, the question, you still haven't had the skylight replaced. Are you going to replace it or not?
I don't need to because once those holes were sealed, I didn't have any more leaks, so I don't need a skylight.
Oh, so you don't even need it at all. All right. Well, good for you. Okay, congratulations. You have prevailed. Good move that you sued him. Harvey?
Doug, believe it or not, this is not an uncommon problem. And a lot of this is dealt with by the contract. And that's why it's really important to read these contracts that you have. That sometimes contractors will say, we are not responsible if the manufacturer goes out of business. And it's something you should think about, at least check into who the manufacturer is.
Marilyn, what's your favorite website online or the one that you visit the most often other than maybe a search engine?
Well, it's kind of sad. It's iCloud.com so that I can see my to-do lists.
Why am I not surprised? Your to-do lists have to-do lists, right?
I have a to-do list under the reminders section of my iCloud account.
Right.
I have like 20 to-do lists. I have a to-do list for you on my account.
Struggling really
a to-do list
hard
for
here.
each of the girls. A to-do list for...
I'm struggling mightily not to call you a nerd.
Yeah,
but
I know.
You are a slave.
And other than that, probably Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I write down my to-do lists on pieces of paper.
And then you lose them.
Then they get
nonstop.
lost. They're all around the house.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't do that. And it works for me. I'm like, at least take a picture. Then now you started to take a picture of the list that you lose, so now you have that at least on your phone.
Well, the website that I'm on the most is probably Pinside. Because I like pinball, and I'm constantly looking and trying to learn more. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm always looking to find out more, and people share information on there about how to fix games, how to maintain games, what games are worth, what you might want to trade for.
What games are in the area. Anytime you go to a new city, you're not looking up the best restaurant. You're looking up where you can play pinball.
Yeah, and they also tell you that, which is great. They have a map for that. So I totally recommend it, okay? For everybody who likes pinball.